Welcome, another episode of Realities May Vary, the podcast. It starts whenever it wants because time does not control us. I am the man in the floral shirt, Brian Noonan. With me, as always, the man in the olive shirt, Cody Gough. We don't always wear the same clothes, but it would be fun if we had a uniform.
Would it?
I don't think it would, to be honest with you.
I don't think it would either. Hi.
Right.
Welcome.
Hi, how are you? What's going on?
Fine. I don't know. I have nothing to talk about, which means we have at least 2 hours of content.
Yeah.
Today, on today's episode, it would be a short episode, but really this time, less than an hour. I dropped my pen. That was really cool.
I like that you're telling us everything. That's
I don't know. Brian has a new obsession. Brian is continuing a current obsession.
Hold on. Now I've lost. I can't hear you anymore.
What? Well, I can. Go. Okay.
Now you're good.
We'll talk about technical difficulties on podcasts.
Oh my God! Yes,
just contributed to our late start. And Brian also was foiled by his own best laid plans.
My own plans.
His own plans. Yeah. I don't know. I'm gonna guess the other story, the obsession. I'm gonna guess what that one is.
You know what that is.
But first, we'll do our 5-minute. I have nothing. Did I mention I brought nothing?
You
to the
did.
Show?
You mentioned that to me earlier today too. That you had nothing, and I, like you said, anytime either or both of us say we have nothing, then it's a 4-hour endeavor.
Yeah. I was just looking at my own. I was scrolling my own Twitter feed because usually I've got some good fodder there. Nothing. I haven't really said anything this week.
You have no fodder?
Nah.
No fodder for
5-second, 30-second check-in. Well, it's not that I haven't been up to stuff. I've been up to a lot. I've actually got a new project I started over the weekend, but I can't talk about it yet.
I know. It kills me.
Because you know about it too. So
I do.
I would, but there's stuff happening. Actually, there are actually several things happening in my work life, work/project life that are just
How you haven't reported in on the new job? How is the new job?
New job's great. New job is great. The new job is very challenging. Very challenging. I have risen to every challenge. I gotta do a flex. I gotta do a little flex. I did get a shout out from my boss for this, which was cool. But
nice.
We were talking about Marta in the chat. Cody has nothing. So a good 20 minutes of him talking without taking a breath. Yes.
Yep, that's true.
No, this was a cool thing at work. So we're running a podcast listener survey. You ever taken one of those, Brian?
A podcast listener survey? No, I have not, since I'm not usually a podcast listener.
That's fair. That's fair.
Even to the one we're doing.
Yeah, well, this is it's like a legacy radio show into a podcast, so it's a little different.
Yeah, this one is different, but I get what you mean. No, I've never done one of those. No.
For those of you who are regular podcast listeners, you may have heard someone say, "Take our little listener survey, and we'll make the show better." Because podcasting is a very in terms of digital content.
Yes.
You know very little about the audience.
True.
Very little. Like if I'm on Facebook, I know how many of my fans are men, women, Democrat, Republican, Libertarian, white, black.
Where do you get that information?
All of it. It's all there. If you're doing paid ads, I think it's.
Oh, you do
there.
Analytics?
Maybe you don't have access, but Facebook at the very least does.
Oh,
right?
Sure they do.
Spotify kind of might know a couple things, but if you're listening on Apple Podcasts, I know nothing about. I might know if you're male or female, but even then, no.
Okay.
So in a podcaster's, and then there's all the other apps that collect nothing: Player FM, Overcast, Castbox, Castos, Cast Vagina. There's
Castaways here on Gilligan's Island.
Yeah, there's a lot. The number one tool in a podcaster's toolbox is the listener survey. Tell us what you like. Tell us why you listen. Tell us how long you listen. Tell us how you found the show. Who are you, etc. So I designed this listener survey, and it's long. It was like 20-some questions.
What?
Yeah, but get this. My extensive podcast production experience, Brian, this was the hill I died on. I said... Well, it would have died on.
I like that slogan. I wish we could integrate it somewhere else.
I know. I literally said, I guarantee you, because I got some pushback from colleagues were like, this is very long. People will not take it. we should not do this. And I said, no, I know podcasting. I am the subject matter expert. I guarantee you at least 300 people will take this survey.
Wow.
And and we're running it for like 6 weeks. Within the first like week, we had like 230.
230 in the first week?
Yes.
And you guaranteed at least 300.
Yeah, because I'm amazing.
Now let me ask you this. Is there a time frame? Like, do they say you have X amount of weeks to get this for people to respond? So will you get your 70 more people?
Yes.
In enough time?
At this rate, we'll have 400 to 500.
Now, this is and are we at liberty to say what podcast you work on?
No, I can't tell you which client. I'm actually working on.
This is not for your main job.
I'll tell you, I've got like, how many podcasts do I work on? This one, the new one, the 2 new ones. One, I did a pilot. One, I'm concepting the pilot. There's a real estate podcaster or radio show host that contacted me on LinkedIn and wants me to produce for him.
Somebody we know?
No, I've never heard of him. He's in some other market. But yeah, I've got like 5 podcasts that I'm kind of got my hands in.
Good Lord.
Yeah. No, I won't leave
podcasts.
I won't leave the link, Marta. I'm sorry. I can't actually. Here's the funny thing about listener surveys is that you only promote them on the show on which they air. Because otherwise you just get Yahoo's entering to, because you can win usually you can win like a gift card or something or a t-shirt. Okay. Yeah, if you take it. So you don't promote it anywhere else. That way you ensure that it's actual listeners to the show. So I can't show my work here. But it was like, how many times, I don't know if you've run into this in your professional career as a radio broadcaster. Like, when have you ever, or in any position, like, is there a time when you've really dug in your heels and been like, no, I know my stuff. You've got to trust me. I will make the case based on my experience and, kind of, you can point to some other examples maybe, but I really was like, I guarantee this will happen. And it did. And it was cool. It's I'm young-ish. This is the first time one of the first times in my professional career I've been able to have to back, to have the experience to back up and say, like, I actually know this, and it worked. It was cool.
Very cool. And your boss commented on you?
Dude,
gave you a little shouty shout?
Dude, the team was like, yo, dude, we weren't sure, but
I guess you do know podcasts. We'll shut up now. Now, do you think they'll question your next the next thing you have to say?
I hope so. I like being questioned. It makes me feel
really
cool.
Not me. I don't want anybody questioning me. My authority. I don't want them questioning my authority. I
don't expect it, but I like challenges because you can rise to a challenge.
Wow, look at you. All right. And you did. You rose to your challenge.
Yes.
Your challenge has risen.
Yeah. So that was my 5-second, 30-minute check-in.
Yeah, Mr. I got nothing to say.
I always. How it's all those improv classes. How are you?
Yes, and how am I is a good question, Cody. It's the existential question, isn't it? Always, how are we? In relation to what? In relation to whom? I don't know. Where am I on the scale? Well, I just wolfed down a quick tuna fish salad sandwich to between radio and this. I'm been doing a lot of radio, which is excellent. As the host of WTMJ Nights now, it's last week was the All-Star break. I'm doing fine, to answer your question in a roundabout way. Things are okay. I'm already anticipating. In 2 weeks, I'll have a story about meeting Molly's boyfriend for the first time. Because next Tuesday night we're going to the Sox game. Now I may be under one of those gag orders after the game, so I may have to speak in code. Because Molly, I guarantee you, next Monday we'll do the show. We won't have done it. The following week I will have met him. Molly, I guarantee will have given me some sort of guidelines of what I can and can't say on the airwaves. She told me a long time ago not to talk about her too much on the air. So
Did she?
back a while ago, I ignored her. This is the hill I will die on. I talk about what I want on my shows, and good, bad. I'll suffer the consequences. But if it's entertaining, even to me, I will. Even just to me,
Yeah.
I will talk about it. But on that, it's good. I had a nice breakfast today with my first grade teaching team, so that was fun. And worried about the crops. The farm is proving a little more problematic this year than last. But harvested my first peppers the other day.
Oh,
Watching the progress on the eggplants. A lot of progress in the tomato and tomatillo area of the farm, but nothing ripe enough yet to pluck. Got a lot of got some really hot red peppers coming in. They look like little dog wieners growing off this plant. It's fun. So a lot going on here. Diane asks, "How's Debbie?" Debbie is much better than last week, so that's good news.
I didn't even ask you that one. I'm the terrible person.
Let's be honest. You don't care about anything on this side of the camera, and I don't blame you. I don't blame you. No, she's doing better. She doesn't have the metal taste in her mouth because she's done with that antiviral stuff. So that's good. But she's going to be working from home again this week, which is starting to become problematic. I told her, listen, we can't both be working from home. This is not going to work. Since I don't have an office to go to, she's going to have to be the one that goes back. But she has to go back 3 days a week anyway, but starting next week. So this week she's home again. Okay. But yeah, there's my check-in. Everything is fine.
Well then, may I take I want to guess about your obsession first.
Please do.
I have an actual 10-second update on the table.
Yes,
the table I'm building.
Oh, your table. I was like, I thought you meant on the table here. Yes. How with the black rods and the and everything else? What's going on?
I say it's a desktop, but it's so I borrowed my dad's hand planer. The idea was I could use the hand planer to plane it flat, relatively flat, and then sand it out. That is not going well.
Oh no.
The planer is fine. It is very hard. It is very hard to get to not gouge the wood and just have varying heights.
If I remember correctly, you had a very small inequity in the edges. Is that correct?
Yeah.
Very small. Yes, and planers are usually for I hate hand planers. Hate them.
Well,
is the razor nice and sharp?
It's an electric hand planer.
Oh.
Which is maybe a mistake. I don't know.
Okay.
I don't
know. So have you caused damage to your... Now are you cursing yourself for not using dowels? To recap, if anybody's hasn't listened, one, listen to the last episode, but two, Cody forgave or just didn't want to use dowels because he had clamps and black pipe, and which was the name of our morning show back when we were working at an urban station in Detroit.
I miss Clamps. He was a good guy.
Black Pipe, I thought they were both good. They both had their thing. But
Black Pipe wasn't my favorite, but Clamps
no
stand-up guy.
I made you do an ethnic. I made you appropriate a culture, and you weren't comfortable with that. So that was bad.
I'm so tired. I don't even know what's happening anymore. I don't know why I'm so tired either. Whatever.
I share that with you today, and I know we're getting back to the planer. Last night I was working on something, and so I had a late night. Came home, and I was very excited. So I'd started watching a movie Saturday night, and I knew I was going to fall asleep, so I hit record. And so I was sitting there. Debbie went to bed, and I was like, well, I'll watch the last half of this movie. It was an hour. No big. And then, because I knew I had to get up early today to go to breakfast, and then I watched something else. And I got up this morning, and I was exhausted. So this afternoon, I'm prepping the show. The radio show, and I'm sitting here in this exact spot. And at one point I woke up and my head was like this. I had fallen asleep sitting in the chair, and the only thing that woke me up was my giant melon head fell down so fast I thought my spine had been discombobulated. So I get it. But now I'm jacked up because I just finished 3 hours of radio. So I'm ready to roll. I'm ready to find out about this plane. I'm ready to find out about if you've gouged your table. How are you going to fix it? Can you just sand it? It's too big an area to sand.
I think I need a belt sander or like a heavy sander that can get like an inch, because I took some 60 grit sandpaper on just like a regular electric sander, and it like the sandpaper ripped after like 2 minutes. So first of all, I need a new electric sander.
Okay.
But it just wasn't, it's not wearing it down fast enough. Like I don't like this side can be the practice side. It doesn't matter that much. It needs to be, because like the table has one top, right?
Correct.
Like it's live edge wood, so it's pretty much gonna look good on either side. So as long as if I obliterate one side, I kind of.
Oh, okay. So you
need it to, yeah.
You got two planks, right? Like this?
Yeah.
So it's like this?
Yeah. Well, now the one side is a little flatter. So, and when I put on legs, I'll put on one of those little screws at the bottom where you can kind of screw it up or down to adjust the height.
Okay.
Then that way, if it's not perfectly flat on the bottom, when I mount the legs, I can still adjust the height. So it doesn't matter. You know what I mean?
Okay.
Because it's not going to be perfectly flat. There's no way I'm going to attach 4 legs and have it stand up straight. There's no way in hell. That will never happen.
Well, are the planks themselves completely level? Because if it's natural wood, there's probably natural, wavy.
Yeah,
I don't know why I keep doing all the visuals with my hand, since this is an audio endeavor.
I don't know.
My shirt is looking way too unbuttoned, like I'm some lounge lizard from 1976. So now I have to button it up, button that button, so I look like a nerd. So I either look like I'm at a divorcee bar, only missing my gold chains and drinking a Harvey Wallbanger, or I button it all the way up like I'm Johnny Nerdsworth. Hello, welcome to Tiki Joe's. Can I help you? It's Johnny Nerdsworth, tropical bartender.
Did I do that?
All right, so this sounds like you should just set it on fire.
Yeah, no, look, that was the check-in. It's just the next step is I'm trying to get it level. The hand plate, the electric hand planer is hard. I'm not good at it. I'm considering.
Have you ever seen anybody use it, or did you just pull a me and go, it's a hand tool, how hard can it be?
No, are you kidding? I practiced on a piece of random wood that I had.
Really?
Yes, I practiced because I didn't want to watch YouTube videos. I read the instructions.
Wow.
But I gave me the instructions. Like, dude, I was on it.
Okay.
But whatever.
And is it just that the height difference isn't big enough for the planer to be effective?
No, I did the planer, but then there's like a there's like a 4-inch wide valley because it's too low, because I planed too much out
you planed too much.
So then
I fill it with like wood putty?
I can't fill like the whole 8-foot length of the table with wood putty. I'm planing it long-wise.
Right. That's going to be the top or the bottom? If it's the bottom, you can wood putty it.
Well, I don't know. Whichever side ends up less mangled horrifically will be the top. I don't know. I won't know until I flip it.
The way it's going now, this side doesn't seem like it's in the running.
This side's not doing. It's not terrible. It's just hard. Woodworking is really hard.
Woodworking is tough.
It is really hard.
It's not like, as they said on the Righteous Gemstones last night, oh, you're building stuff out of sticks. That's exciting.
Here's the other thing. My son is terrified of it.
Of the table or the planer?
The planer.
Oh, well, yeah, he's not even 3.
He came outside and he's like, I want to help you build a table. And he has this little toy tools that's so cute.
Yeah.
And he took his little toy screwdriver and he like put it up to the table, and there's the drill, and it's just like.
Did you yell at him because there were no screws in it?
I'm not a monster.
Okay,
fair enough. So cute, and
yes, that is cute.
He was being so sweet, and then I was like, "Hey, go sit in the driveway. I'm going to try this electric planer for just a second." And so I put it on for like a second. And it's like, wah! It's not super loud, right? It's like
it's loud enough, though, right?
No. It does, like lawnmower volume, maybe. So fine, like he would have been fine, but I'm just go stand out in the driveway. He stands out in the driveway and he's got his little tool thing. And I gave him safety glasses. I was like, put on these safety
Oh,
glasses just in
nice.
case. And he's standing like 20 feet away from me. So I turn on the thing again, and then I was like, all right, I'll actually cut the wood this time. And I put on my my ear protection and put my little thing on and glance over, and he's just standing there smiling. And then I turn it on and then I go, and cut like literally less than 8 inches of a wood plank just to see the cut, and
Yeah.
and I turn around and he's just sobbing because it was so loud.
Oh my God. Did you
Because
not
when
give him your protection?
no, he was really far away. He was like in the
I
driveway,
understand, but
and
he wanted what daddy had.
I was in the garage, and
He
I
was
actually
probably thinking my father wants me to go deaf. He put those things on his ears and he left me out here in the wilds to hear whatever it is to blow out my eardrums.
I will never not feel bad for that.
For blowing out his eardrums?
No, I did not blow out his eardrums. I hate you.
It finally comes out after all these years. You finally vocalized what you've been
You're the
keeping inside.
worst. Did you ever accidentally do anything to your child?
Listen, I'm lived with so much shame and guilt from the 26 years. If I don't laugh about it, I would never be able to get out of bed.
All right.
Yes, to answer your question, but there comes a point where when the alcohol doesn't help, there's nothing you can do about it.
Oh, yes, there is.
So how did you remedy that? Once it stopped, did he stop crying?
No, yeah, of course. No, I ran over. I gave him a big
Well,
hug.
no,
I'm
I
like,
don't. Yeah, I don't know. Was he just scared of the noise? Was he scared of what it was doing?
The
Was he able
noise.
to verbalize what it was?
I assume the noise.
Okay. Maybe he had a dream, like maybe he's psychic and he had a premonition and he saw the planer in his dream kick back and take off your nose.
Oh, Jesus.
Yeah.
But here's the thing. Saturday, then I worked on, this weekend, I was home,
Right.
not doing much.
Working
The
on
idea
building
was
stuff out of sticks.
right. I'm like, I'll get a couple hours in. Apparently, I was in the garage. He was inside, and my wife said every time I turned on the planer, he freaked out inside.
Oh,
So I
God.
can't use it when he's home, which means that I basically have to do it when he's at daycare, like Wednesday or Friday afternoons. I have to just
Wow.
leave on my lunch hour, like leave my home office.
Marta said maybe he's mad that he didn't get to use it.
No, he's like legit scared of it. It's a good
Wow.
theory, but I think we.
That's too bad. I mean, I get it. It's a loud tool, and he sees you hunched over it, fighting it.
Yeah.
Oh no, that's too bad. Because when I saw him earlier in the week, and by seeing him, I mean your wife's Instagram, I about went into a diabetic coma because it could not have been sweeter. He was singing to his little sister as he was being pushed in the stroller. She was in the stroller. He was hanging on backwards. Risky move, but the kid seems to have good balance. And he was singing "Joy to the World" to his baby sister. And good Lord, enough. He was
3 Dog Night, Joy to the World.
Oh yeah, why? What was the other one?
Because the last person Joy to the World. Joy to the world.
Yeah, all the boys are good now. Joy to the fishes. Are we going to get flagged for copyright infringement? I think that was so far away from any identifiable music that they're not going to go, hey, man, you can't have that on there. You had licensed music on your show.
Yeah. Yeah.
No, I didn't know there was another Joy to the World song. I always thought the 3 Dog Night version was the version.
What?
What?
You've never heard Joy to the World, the Christmas song?
Oh, yeah, Joy to the World, the Christmas song. Yeah, you're right. Listen, I heard what he was singing. I knew immediately what it was. I knew it wasn't a Christmas carol.
I'm specifying for the listener.
Oh, okay. All right, listener. Yeah, you get it? You get it? Oh, you're right, because I did tell somebody they would, the Christmas song all year round? And I was like, no, duh.
Do you know that Joy to the World is just a it's a descending scale?
Is that what it is?
It's do 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 do. It's literally just the descending scale.
Boy, you're taking all the fun out of music, aren't you? With your theory.
No, dude, I am edutaining. Can I take a guess at what your
Please.
obsession is?
You know what my obsession is. Smack.
Can I take a guess at what the obsession is that you are going to talk about?
Sure, yeah.
And I don't have knowledge of this. You did not mention this the last time I saw you. I believe your continued obsession is the bear cam in Alaska.
100%. No shame. I've even now flipped Debbie a little bit.
Oh my
She'll
God.
go, "What's going on with the bears?" And I'll say, "Well, in fact, right now I'm watching as two of them are right in the river, and the salmon are really starting to move now. So today it's always on in the background. I've always got the bears going. Volume off. The bears are there. You know why I like the bears? They are patient. These bears, they will stand there and wait, and they wait." And no matter how many salmon jump by their heads and they miss them, they wait. And then whap, they catch one in their mouth. And it's glorious. And I usually let out a yelp if they catch one. Now, you might say to yourself, why aren't you cheering for the salmon as they escape? Salmon are fish. And fish are good for eating, but not for looking at. Bears are good for looking at, and they're an apex predator. So that's why I'm cheering for them to eat the fish. But yes, so now the other day, was it Saturday? We were having lunch, and Debbie's like, "What's with the bears?" So I brought the iPad to the table, and again, no volume because it makes you have to go to the bathroom too much because all you hear is water running. So it's on mute, but you can sit and I glance over now. I see two bears eyeing each other. Sometimes you see one chase the other away. Sometimes this morning I saw a sow with her cubs wading into the water to catch some fish. And it's just phenomenal. And it's calming. And you know me, Cody, I need something that calms me.
Yeah.
And something that brings me joy. And this doesn't cost anything. It's not taking away from my life in any way. It's brought me closer to my beloved because now we share a passion. That may be too strong. She indulges my psychosis, probably is more apt. Yesterday, I even watched for a couple minutes the underwater salmon cam because there's 3 shots of the 3 different angles, 3 different cameras for the falls, and then they have an underwater salmon cam.
Where can people see any of what you're talking about?
Well, I posted a link today I'll share it on the Facebook page. I'm also going to drop it right here in the chat because it's something you have to see. It's phenomenal.
There you go.
Yeah, the salmon are going upstream. They're going, they're going back to where they were born. But you got to give them credit. I do appreciate when a salmon makes a clean jump all the way up the falls and escapes. Mm-hmm. I'm like, that salmon deserves it. But if you jump right into a bear's mouth, hey man, that's nature. Like right now, there's 3 bears standing at the top of the falls frozen. There's 3 bears under the falls and 1 bear standing back, probably waiting its turn. It's fascinating. Just fascinating. Is it bad that I airplayed it up on the big TV for a little while one day when nobody was around? Yeah, maybe. I'm a little obsessed. But today I realized at about 3:00 I hadn't looked at the bears yet. And I got a little antsy.
Yeah.
So.
Well, I know what I'm doing for the next 4 hours after my edible kicks in.
Switch cameras too. Try all the different cameras. Now, some you got to look. Some are live, like the one I linked is a live cam. Some say highlight, and if you just want to see action, go to the highlight because that's throwing in all kinds of obviously highlights. But the live ones are fun. Except for the salmon one. The salmon one is okay because sometimes you see a bear actually swim out over the salmon. And it's like, oh my gosh, what's going on there? Show your son. He'll love it. Show your daughter. She's an infant. She might get, these are real teddy bears.
This is actually really cool. I mean, they're not doing anything.
They're waiting. That's the thing.
Well, he might get bored of that. He's 2.
That's true. That's why sometimes I go to this is the falls. Then you go to the other angle, the Riffles Bear Cam. And that's down the river. That's a little ways down. So you see a couple. Now, these are just sitting in the river. They're just chilling. They're not bothering anybody. I like the brown bear's low angle. That's a good one because you see the falls, but you also see back. See this one that's in the front that's underneath. He keeps diving in. they keep going under to try to catch the salmon as they get swooped back after they didn't jump up the falls.
Yeah, there are 1,700 people watching the Brooks
Yeah.
Falls Brown Bears live cam.
This is also where they have the fat bear contest every year. It's funny. I've only looked at the comments one or two times. People are, and I think these people are full of crap. They're identifying bears for, oh, that's 99 from last year. Shut up. You don't know what that. All those bears look the same. Some are a little skinnier than others. Some are a little darker than others. But they all kind of look. You know what they look like? They look like bears. Unless they're wearing hats, I'm not going to be able to tell them apart. But see, isn't it cool? It's just nature. It's just, you can have it on over there and be working. And just when you need a minute of zen, you look, oh, look, all right, here, just one's coming down the bank. Look at this big monster. Just coming in past that seagull.
Wait.
He doesn't care.
A bunch of people comment BF or RF. What is that?
I don't know.
Like there's a ton of comments and they all have a screenshot. This guy says BF, running to the sea while they can. And then there's just someone with a picture of the falls and it goes RF. Someone else says RF. So tall, these little blonde ears look like little wings. RF. What is the RF?
I don't know. I'm not in the weird. Listen, I just watch it. I don't. I'm not into the thing.
Is it referencing Ripple Falls? Because that's the camera angle.
Maybe.
Let me find but BF and what's BF is. What was that? What would that be? That would be
Brooks Falls.
Brooks Falls.
Brooks Falls is the falls. Riffle's Bear Cam.
Okay,
is the other one.
That's what they're saying. A lot of people, they just shorthand. They just say There's this woman, Rolling Trouble, Washington 2019, who has commented a dozen times with pictures in the last like half hour.
Oh my God.
This woman's on it.
Yeah, people, I'm not the only insane person. We always knew that. I didn't think I was insane, but this has just become a little, you know why? Because I don't know. It brings me happiness. So, it doesn't hurt anybody. But yes, I am obsessed. And now Debbie is, and I haven't told Molly about it yet. I don't think Molly will be happy.
No, you think?
Yeah. Well, maybe I get into a big conversation with the boyfriend.
Please.
At the Sox game about the bear cam. Hey, have you ever, you like bears?
Do this entire segment to the boyfriend. I need to hear how it goes.
I pull out my phone. Hey man, look at this. There's 3 different angles on the bears. And you want to see salmon swimming underwater? The salmon kind of show off. Here you go. Here you go. That would be fun. Sitting there out in the bleachers. I'm talking about the bear cam for an hour and a half.
Do it.
That would be the way if I never wanted to see Molly again. Can you imagine that conversation? You finally meet your girlfriend's parents, and the dad does nothing but talk about a live camera from Alaska that has bears on it, and that's all he talks about. Even though you're at a baseball game, never asks a question about you, never says anything, just launches in to a 3-hour bear diatribe, much like this podcast.
Do you think she's told him that you are a broadcaster?
I don't know. I would hope she'll at least let him know that I, am a stand-up.
So I can't tell if it's some people introduce significant others to family. Like my brothers have brought girls to Thanksgiving and Christmas and Easter at my parents' house that I cannot remember most of their names. Many of them we only saw once.
Yeah.
It was just like, let's do it. I like to think I was not more conservative about it. I mean, I wouldn't have done that for like a month, right? You wait. So, right. But given that I don't recall ever having a boyfriend. So no. Where are we on the scale? Where do you think that this means it's serious, or it's just kind of?
Well, I don't want to say too much because one, I don't know too much, but it's or 7 is 3 2. They've been dating about 6 months, 7 months, 5 or 6 months.
Okay, so this isn't just like
right. They've been going on for a while, and she didn't tell me about him until Good Friday. So they had been going out for a little while. At that point, she was sure she liked him. She was pretty sure he liked her, and they had been going together. Since Good Friday now, I know they are exclusive. They had that conversation. So
they're going steady.
They're going steady. They're a courting.
Okay. I didn't say that.
I think the first question has to be, what are your intentions with my daughter? Don't you think? As any good father, would ask.
My God.
No?
Don't do
Listen,
that.
I'm open to suggestions.
Ask if they're going steady.
You guys going steady? What's the deal? Well, now when she comes over, I say, how's the boy? She goes, why don't you use his name? I go, because I haven't met him, so he doesn't exist to me yet.
True. Maybe he doesn't exist yet.
Oh my God. What if she just comes with like a flat Stanley? Oh man, that's going to be awkward.
For who? Stanley?
Probably for Stanley, because
I thought you were three-dimensional.
He's going to know I'm disapproving of a one-dimensional boyfriend.
She's going to be very upset with you if you're just like, I thought you were going to be more than one-dimensional. Dad!
Why are you saying that? You embarrass me every day. Why are you such a jerk? I don't think he's from he's from Pennsylvania.
Oh my
God. That's pretty close to Canada, Mike.
This is why she doesn't want you talking about her.
Right. Well, I won't mention his name. There's a lot of men in the world. Who knows? So no, listen, I'm going to have an ulcer before the game, just trying to figure out what I can and can't say and what I should and shouldn't do. And if I can be, maybe I have to be like Molly and keep the real me away from him for a while.
I'm just yeah. So you've never I've got a daughter, as a father,
she's not dating yet, is she?
Not to my knowledge.
I don't think she can walk. I think she should have to walk before she can date.
For Amazon Prime Day, we did get a sub $100 robot vacuum. It is Chinese trash. I sent it back to the dock about a half hour ago. I was sitting downstairs. I sent it back to the dock. The next thing I know, it's circled around back to the living room behind me. I go, wait, you were just by the dock. Walk over to the dock. It ripped the dock out of the power outlet and was just wandering, just meandering. It's cheap Chinese trash.
Is that the
brand?
Am I
allowed to say that? Am I allowed to say that?
Maybe cheap trash produced in China. Is that better?
Yeah, I think that's what I mean. I mean, I think that's
Well, you could say it.
The robot does not have an ethnicity, right? It's
not
a robot.
Not yet. Hang on.
And none of the instructions are passable English, so it's just
it's like a Chinese menu with all the misspellings. That's how you know it's a good restaurant.
Yes, it was
they can't spell their own stuff.
It was a cheaply manufactured, un-American peripheral that was inexpensive, and my daughter chases it around.
Oh, does
but when she catches it, she cries.
Well, that's because the game's over,
I guess. She's
like,
just she'll stop and and then it drives away, and then she just starts chasing it again.
All right, it's kids. Kids are
anyway. So
yes.
I imagine at some point, maybe if she decides to date boys, a boy will come home and I get to do the fatherly, I'm gonna size you up, thing. Yeah. You must have envisioned that you would do that at some point, but you've never had that.
The only time I saw, at prom, I saw the guy she went to prom with, but he turned out to be a jerk and he was gone pretty soon. Yeah. So there's never been this is as close as we've come. And she's I'm skeptical that she chose a very public place to do it. She could have said, hey, can we go out to dinner? Or do you want to, hey, would you mind doing a cookout and he and I could come over, we could bring Walter, and I would have said, yeah, that'd be fine. So it's more private, but this way probably, because she knows I don't like to talk to people who aren't on the other side of a microphone and invisible, that maybe she thought we just needed something to do to distract us.
But it's such a long time.
It is a very long time. That's all right. There's the game to distract us.
Okay.
And I've got to convert him. He's a Cub fan by default because he moved here. He's getting a PhD and he's an Eagle Scout.
Okay.
He plays trombone.
Okay.
So I know a few things about him. All those things sound good. Those are all, goes to Northwestern for his PhD.
That's what my wife did.
Yeah.
I'm
So,
pretty happy
yeah.
with that
So,
situation.
Mike, rain delay in extra innings. I'm gone at that point. Not staying around for a rain delay. What are you, nuts?
What are tickets cheap for a Sox game?
I had nothing to do with this. These tickets were bought like 2 months ago.
Wow.
And I put it on the calendar thinking, geez, July 25th is a long way away. And now it's here, which means July is almost over, which means the summer's over and I haven't done anything.
Wait, is Debbie going?
Yes.
Okay.
Oh, yeah, the four of us are going. No, oh, God. Did you think it was just me and the guy?
And Molly, but yeah.
Oh, no. One, Molly would never do that. Two, I would never do that. That's not happening. I need Debbie as a buffer and a conversationalist.
Mhm.
I will be there to throw in a clever bon mot every once in a while.
Okay.
And I'll ask some, I'm going to start with some, after the, what are your intentions with my daughter? He went to Penn State. Do you have any connection to the Joe Paterno, Jerry Sandusky scandal?
Mm-hmm.
Get those things out of the way right away.
Here's a tip. Don't say bon mot.
Bon mot?
On the double date.
You don't think so? The double date. Oh my God, we're doubling. I'm like, now I'm like, well, can I wear a Sox hat like you would normally do when I go to a game? Is that too dorky? Usually wear a Sox hat, maybe a t-shirt. Do I, how do I present myself?
Don't cosplay as Admiral Sox, the mascot of the White Sox from 1903.
All right. Can I go as Southpaw?
I don't know what that means, but
Southpaw is their new mascot, the green fuzzy guy.
Why is he green if they are the White Sox?
Because he's, I don't know. He's not a player.
Ding. Out of time. The answer is that's dumb. That's the answer. That was the answer.
What if, should I paint Go Sox on my chest?
Yeah, go shirtless.
All right. Yeah. Woo! White Sox! Get all sloppy. Make Debbie drive. I black out in the seventh. Because I spent $800 on beer.
This sounds like a great plan.
No, it's $5 beer night on Tuesday. I was like,
God.
hey, this is the night we're going to the Sox game. It's $5 beer night.
And you don't have to work the next morning. Everybody else does.
Right. I don't know if this kid does. He's a student. No, he must work. He works. Yeah, he works because he went out of town for some conference.
How did you introduce your spouse to your parents?
You know what? I have no idea. I got introduced to Debbie's family at a full-on, it was her grandparents' 50th anniversary. So I had to meet everybody at once. Like, hey. And I don't know if I took Debbie to a holiday or how I introduced her. She probably rused the day. I guarantee she knows exactly how I introduced her to the family. I cannot remember for the life of me.
Huh.
But I remember meeting her family at some restaurant after we crashed her Fiero into the median in a snowstorm on our way up to Michigan.
Nice.
So, yeah.
Okay.
Fun. Yeah, that's all good.
How did yeah, wow. Okay. All right. Yeah. No, I just did the
I was fascinating as the new boyfriend. I was very well behaved.
Oh, good.
One, because I didn't want to be there, so I just kept my mouth shut most of the time. It was very polite, But I do know that if things continue, I learned a couple things from my dad that I will not repeat with Molly. Like when Debbie and I got engaged, we took my mom and dad out to dinner, and Debbie was like, well, what would you like me to call you? And my mom was like, oh, you can call me Patsy. That's great. And then she looks at my dad and he goes, you can call me Mr. Noonan. And I was like, whoa. Now, once we were married, she was able to call him Pat. But until we were married, it didn't really fit. Like, we were engaged. The wedding was in a month. Debbie moved from Michigan down to the apartment with me. again, we're getting married in a month. The invitations are out. The plans are made. It's not like we're just shacking up as high schoolers. My dad was livid. Can't believe they're living together before they get married. My aunt was like the same way. Can't believe they're living together before they get married. What, for 30 days? What do you think? What do you think's going to happen? And then, so I won't do either of those. And then we started getting, people send your wedding gifts before the wedding. They buy them on the registry and they get delivered. He's like, don't you open any of those wedding gifts until you're married. It's like, okay, relax. Do you think we're going to break up in the last 3 weeks? Wow. Are you not confident in this union that, we might have to take something back to Fields? So, yeah. So I won't do any of those.
That's fair. Wow.
Right. Call me Mr. Chips.
I was beyond terrified to tell my parents that my now wife was moving in with me.
Okay.
I had never had a girl move in with me ever. I'd never cohabitated like that. And
you're not used to living in sin.
They were surprisingly chill. Like my dad, I figured, I didn't think would really mind. My mom, I didn't know about, but she was very chill. But it was funny because then they wanted to tell my mom's mom, my grandma, and they were kind of like waiting off on it because they weren't sure what she'd say. And I think either my mom or I don't even remember which one of us told her, but we were just like, yeah, so Cody moved in with his girlfriend, and she just goes, "Oh, that's fantastic! That's wonderful!"
Wow, nice, Graham, bringing it home.
Did not care at all.
Yeah, it's at this point, I don't know. Like, who knows? I don't want to say too much. Molly's moving. Now she's moving closer to the boyfriend, but that's not why she's moving. Wink, wink. Her lease is up, and they were raising the rent like $600. So, and that on top of the $2 something she has to pay for parking and everything else. So she found a nice place, so she's moving. So I will get to see this place when I go hang the pictures, just nice. Like the one time I saw the last place. But to be honest, I don't know how many times I had my parents over to my apartment, and I didn't live too far from them.
Yeah.
I don't think my parents came to the apartment.
My parents have been to mine a handful of times, but they didn't make a habit of it. They, it's not like they come into Chicago and be like, "Can I crash on your couch?" Like, no, they have a hotel. No. They have a hotel name.
Oh, I would always, no. Like if she lived out, we learned that in the New Orleans situation. Like, during COVID, we had to stay at her place.
Right.
No.
If
she ever were to live out of town again, it's always hotels. No. Well, so that next week you could help me prep for the big visit, because trust me, I'll be watching Bears a lot next Tuesday afternoon to just get in that. Oh, everything is cool. Nature finds a way. Now they're all lined up on top of the falls, waiting for those fish to just leap into their little mouths. That's so lazy.
That's amazing. It's too bad that this whole intro wasn't happening closer to November, since the Saturday after Thanksgiving, WWE Survivor Series is coming to the Allstate Arena.
Really?
Yeah.
I wonder if he's a wrestling fan.
I don't know, but I doubt I can get a ticket for less than $180.
Oh my God.
Yeah. WWE pay-per-views are
now, is that because it's a pay-per-view?
Yeah. And it's one of their big four. I mean, like, it's the fourth best, but there's WrestleMania, then Royal Rumble are the two biggest.
Okay.
Then SummerSlam, and then Survivor Series is.
Is that where they're all in the ring and then they throw each other out?
No, that's Royal Rumble. Survivor Series is weird. It's like a 5-on-5 teams. So they usually have to write these weird convoluted storylines to find excuses to put together 5 wrestlers versus 5 wrestlers. It used to be way easier. Like in the 80s, they would just they'd have 6 5-on-5 matches, and that was just the whole night basically. Now it's just more regular matches and maybe 1 or 2 Survivor Series tag matches. I don't know. I've never been a big fan, but one of my friends wants to go. And I'm like, I mean, it's close to me. It is a WWE pay-per-view. I've never been to
we got to find a publicist who works that angle.
Dude, that's literally my friend Guy was like, "Don't you have press contacts?" And I was like, "Not really with WWE." I mean, they're not going to give me free tickets to a pay-per-view. That's not how that works. That would be. Do you know people that have gotten that?
We've gotten free tickets to a bunch of stuff, you and me.
No, I've gotten free tickets to Raw, but not a pay-per-view where they're charging $200 a ticket.
We've gone to many plays where they charge a lot more than $200.
We have. That's true. Oh man, I'm not on the right lists.
We got to find out who's doing the PR for them in town.
Okay.
Then tell them, award-winning podcast producer, co-host, radio personality.
Yeah.
We could do a hit on my terrestrial station. That's probably illegal what I just said.
Is it?
I don't know. I promote stuff. I had an author on tonight. And
they go on sale to Wednesday. I'm not going to hold my breath that I'll have the time or energy to look into that tomorrow. I have other things. Bad. Well, before we go, what were your best laid plans that ruined your life?
This was all right. So this was just, again, short and sweet.
What do you do? What was short? What was sweet?
No, it was, I'll make the story short because we're both tired. So I told you I went to breakfast today. Very nice. Met the ladies. We had a nice time. We talked. It was fun. I realized I like going out to breakfast because it's much easier to go out to breakfast than it is to make a full breakfast, like everything. So I hadn't been to this place since before COVID, and it's really good.
Wait a minute.
What?
You like going out to breakfast?
I love going out to breakfast.
Is that
not early in the morning, like 11?
Is it? I thought you didn't like brunch.
I don't like brunch. I like breakfast.
What is the difference? If you go at 11, what is the difference?
If I go at 11, well, I go to a place that's just for breakfast. Brunch has all kinds of meats and shrimp and shellfish, and you got the eggs over here, and you got the crab claws over here. It's too much. Can't decide. Do I want smoked turkey? Do I want a sausage?
Where are you going that has crab legs and shrimp for brunch?
I only go to top tier brunch. I go to brunch on Easter. And I go to, when does it, that's it. I go to brunch on Easter at the country club where my brother's a member.
Okay.
That's where I go to brunch.
All right. That is not a normal brunch.
It's a normal holiday brunch. It's not a brunch that the hipsters go to at a restaurant downtown where you're paying $37 for a plate of eggs.
And sometimes
bottomless
beans.
Mimosa.
Yeah. And usually bottomless mimosa costs you an extra $30.
Well, sure. But $30, bottomless mimosa, that evens out pretty quick.
Yeah, it evens out to about a $4 thing of orange juice at Jewel.
Well, sure. Yeah, you can get a nice bottle of Prosecco for about $11, half-gallon orange juice, sit at home, which is what we've done since, not every day, but, on special occasions, if we do a brunch at our home, but we haven't gone out to breakfast since before the pandemic. And we used to go to this place in Brookfield. It's really good. So today I was excited to go back, and I had myself a nice skillet with corned beef hash, and oh man, it was delicious.
Hash.
It was so good.
So good.
I just shoveled it in. I was like an animal.
Didn't think you were going to say shoveled.
I shoveled it in, and then it hit me at Costco. Anyway, so I figure I have a plan because I'm going to finish. What are you shaking your head?
Continue. You may continue.
All right, thank you. I was the Bears are really on fire. So I'm like, I got to make some stops. I got to get a watermelon, which I get at Costco. Costco has the best watermelons. They're giant, they're really sweet, and they're a good price. So I'm like, all right, now I have two options for Costco. And I think to myself, well, I got to go to Aldi too. And I got to pick up a bag of ice. So these are three things I got to get on the way home. Costco,
can you get ice at Costco?
Aldi, too far from the house. Can't buy the ice too far away.
Yeah,
because it melts.
Okay.
Don't make me get into the science. You're a science broadcaster.
How far
from Costco to my house is a good ways.
What's an hour?
8 hours. I go to a Costco just outside Memphis.
Okay.
I love because they have culturally appropriate things down there that I like to pick up.
Weed?
No. Extra bed sheets. Nothing. The Costco's maybe 10, not even 10. It depends. The one I was going to go to is about 15, 20 minutes from the house, but I was passing it, so I wasn't going away. The other one is about 5 to 10 minutes from the house. But I didn't need Costco doesn't sell 7-pound bags of ice. What are you what are you turning off your mic and talking to Siri for?
Tennessee song bed sheets.
It has nothing to do with
Okay.
bed sheets. It has
Memphis
the
sex music.
use of bed sheets in the South.
How do they use bed sheets in the South?
How does a certain group?
How a bed sheet is made. Why do I put my top sheets on upside down? Southernliving.com. Who makes bed sheets in the South naked?
It was a horrible joke that you obviously did
Top
not get.
5 bed sheets. Okay.
Oh,
All right.
my God.
Bed sheet porn.
No,
We're just gonna
that's
go
not.
with that.
Yeah, I'm
Wait,
like the Handmaid's Tale. I cut a hole in one.
when I do voice to text on Google, it censors porn, so it's P*******. Hold on, I'm gonna try some curse words.
Okay.
I'm gonna go on mute.
All right, you go on mute. I'll keep talking about the. So I get to Costco, I get the watermelon.
Huh, censors swears too. Look at that.
Does it really?
Huh. Google can eat it. All right. Anyway, you got to Costco in Memphis.
I get to Costco
with a bed sheet.
I made the choice. All right, I'm going to go to this Costco because I know if I go to this Costco, I go up a few blocks and there's an Aldi. Then I go up the street more and there's the gas station right before I turn to go to the house. So everything's a straight line plan. It's going to be great. This is going to be the easiest thing ever. So I get to Costco, and obviously Monday is the day that every infirmed elderly person goes to Costco, and every family that likes to walk 8 across to block the entire aisle. But okay, I get in, I swoop into I actually did Days of Thunder kind of pass move on the inside to pass a couple and get into the self-checkout line, got my watermelon, boom. All of a sudden, the breakfast is bothering me. I got to make a pit stop. Take care of that business. Now I'm ready to roll. I'm off to Aldi. Here we go. This is going to be great. What the? They closed the Aldi. It's not there anymore. Now I'm thrown off. Thrown off because I'm like, all right, where's another Aldi? Well, there's an Aldi past my house. It's close to the house, but it's past where I wanted to get the ice. So, all right, I can handle this. I'll go to the Aldi. Go to Aldi. They only had one of the things I needed. Oh, man. It was not good. But I get out of there. Here's something. Maybe you don't leave the house. Right. If you've left the house more, people aren't pulling up all the way into their parking spots anymore in a parking lot. So it's very hard to back out because everybody's car is hanging ass out of the parking spaces. Just a little aside.
They don't do that at Menards out in the western suburbs. I can tell you that.
Well, in the city where I am, people are just haphazardly leaving their cars everywhere.
Yeah.
Just with no regard. Yeah. No regard at all. Excuse me. So I get what I needed all day, and now I'm figuring in my head, all right, where am I going to get this ice? Well, I go back. No, I don't want to go there. I'll drive by the ice factory. It's right on the way home. They used to sell ice. They've got all the machines out there. Nope. 7-pound bags out of order. Big machine. I could have bought a 20-pound bag or a 40-pound block. Didn't need either one of those. So I'm like, okay, there's a 7-Eleven 3 blocks from my house. I'll go there. It's on the way. Or it's past my house, but it's only 3 blocks. I get to 7-Eleven, get out of the car. I go, there's their ice machine in the back. I open the door, not one bag of ice in there. Now I'm like, why is God vexing me? Why can't I get ice? I ended up back at the original place I was going to go for ice, but I had to circle way around. The whole endeavor took me, I don't know, an extra 20 minutes, 25 minutes.
You know what you got to do? You just go to your ice maker on your fridge. And you just press it with a Ziploc bag.
No,
and you dispense all the ice into a Ziploc bag. And then you bring
salty, nasty machine ice is the worst.
What?
I have never had ice from a refrigerated ice machine that tastes good. It's always awful. I don't get my aunt. The first place I had it was my aunt's house years and years and years ago, and it tasted awful and made the pop flat. Then my mom has an ice machine. Same thing. Makes the pop flat, has a salty taste. I even read this one. I'm not alone because I said to Debbie, I wish we could just use the ice from our refrigerator. She's like, no, it always tastes bad. It's always salty tasting. And I'm like, yep, see? So I will be inconvenienced to get a bag of, there's never not a bag of ice in my house.
Wow.
If I said that correctly, it would be there is always a bag of ice in my house.
That's another way to say it.
That's probably the better grammatical way to say it.
An alternative, if you will.
Yes, you are correct.
An alternative fact.
No, it is. No, the fact is the fact. There is always a bag of ice in my house.
That's what I just said.
No, you said an alternative fact.
Yeah.
Which would have been there's a bag of ice not in my house.
No.
But that is also a fact. Because there is a bag of ice that's not in my house.
Where?
It's at the store.
Not the stores you go to.
Well, the one I finally got it from.
Wow.
Aha.
This
at 2, Brute.
Well, never plan anything again, I think, is the obvious conclusion.
Yeah, we've gone on with a lot.
I would that's why I don't plan things. That's why like you, I did nothing this summer. I don't remember anything I did last month or this month at all. I've been working a lot.
Yeah.
My office is beyond a disaster zone because one time I was watching my daughter and she crawls everywhere now. And so I got the pack and play out of the basement. I put the pack and play in my office.
Yeah.
Great. All right, well, now half my office is the pack and play, my cluttered desk, a bunch of toys that were on the ground. Like, you can barely walk in here. It's awful. There's a giant, it's just a nightmare. I got to get this table done so I have an excuse to just the desk done so I can rip everything out of here, redo the whole thing. I don't know.
Are you going to keep the dragon?
Yeah.
All right. That's good.
Dragon's over there.
Your children, at least your children grow up.
I don't really want them.
And then you don't have to show them.
Look at that. There's the dragon.
There you go.
There's the dragon.
I just want to make sure he's not getting tossed out.
How do you know it's a he?
Maybe
well, that was sexist much.
Yeah, I'm always sexist against mythical lizards.
Yeah, well.
I don't care. Let them at me with their fire breath and their scaly-ass skin.
Pretty good spot.
Maybe they moisturize a little bit and use mouthwash. I like them a little better. Pay attention to their gender.
Maybe they'll buy you breakfast in the morning. You know what I mean?
God, I love going to breakfast. Did I mention that?
You did.
Love it. Love it.
But
a nice skirt steak and eggs, some biscuits and gravy. I love it.
But you don't like brunches that cost thousands of dollars.
Weirdly. I don't need $100 brunch. That's asinine. You know what I need? I'm now watching about 6 bears frolic in the sunshine of Alaska. That's what I need. We gotta go.
You watch the bears. I'm gonna go catch some fish of my own, if you know what I mean.
I don't, but watch the salmon cam. Maybe that'll be fun.
Okay.
What? I'm not even going to read that quote out loud. I don't know what.
It's probably really funny, like the bedsheet in Memphis joke.
No, the bedsheet in Memphis joke was horribly distasteful.
Okay, well,
thankfully you didn't get it.
Well, I certainly slept on that one.
Nice. All right, that's all I got. Thanks for being here. Maybe we'll be here next week. Who knows? Who knows anymore what's happening?
Who can tell the future?
Who can tell?